Hello everyone and welcome back to Circuit Simon Says. Today we are taking a look at the Ford Torino Talladega car, and I have two of these. So yeah, brilliant racing pair, and I just want to show you these cars and give a little review and compare them back to the BMW M4. So these cars have, awesome paintwork. This particular one has a really nice metallic gold finish, absolutely brilliant, and looks stunning on the track. The paint is also a nice two-tone, and all the edges are super crisp. Even has a cool driver in it, and all the tiny little sponsorship decals, printings, they're all there, super crisp and looking rather good. Yeah, so just such a nice, pretty car to look at, and something that's totally different, and they drive totally different to the current GT cars like my BMW M4, which I've been comparing all of these against. This is the car 72. Again, it's the same Ford Torino. It's that purple there, or the deep red. It is a metallic color, and it shows up beautifully under the natural light. It's a nice deep metallic red purple with the gold striping. The blue is not metallic, is gloss, and these cars are just really well finished and great to look at. Like I say, they drive completely differently. So these two cars I'm running a little bit differently today. The blue one, I'm running the full stop magnets in, so I can show you what it runs like with all the magnets in. And the gold car, I'm only running with the front magnet, no rear magnet. I could do a little bit more work on the tyres to get them more even, and I'll work on that later. But how these cars drive is very different to the BMW. They are longer, so they're more prone to spinning out, but they're also quite tall on the track. But when they've got both magnets in, the belly here runs so close to the track that it holds them down pretty good. So BMW, in comparison, the wheelbase of these cars is pretty similar, actually. The body of the NASCAR is longer, so it does have a bit more weight out back to throw around, and you can probably tell from there that the BMW is substantially wider, has a much wider stance. In fact, tyre to tyre, BMW is almost a ½ inch wider at the front and back. So the BMW is definitely a much more planted car because of that. Inside, typical Carrera gubbins. This is a digital car, so Carrera have their self-centering front guide. They're using brass bushings, which is quite nice. We've got the digital chip, which opens up all of the cool digital options for timing and such. Standard motor and standard rear gears. So Carrera make a very nice, well put together car and offer a lot of value, especially if you go up to the digital. Now this car, you may have noticed, doesn't have front and rear lights. That's because these cars didn't run with front and rear lights. They're NASCARs, so you don't get the lights with these, but they're not meant to be there, so that's okay. Yeah, and it's a completely different driving experience. They are long, they are narrow, and they are quite tall. If I bring those in like that and rotate it, it's difficult for you to see there, but the Ford is definitely a taller, narrower car, so it has a more unstable stance, I would say. So yeah, you can slide these out. They're trickier to drive than the current GT cars. I'm going to play a bit more with my cars. I will probably take one or both magnets out of all cars and maybe change the tyres. That will maybe make them a bit more predictable, because right now without the rear magnet, it drives how you expect to be, a little tail happy, but it is quite tricky because there's still a very fine line between in the groove and off the track, so I need to broaden that. So yes, let's get this over to the magnet. We'll run some laps and then bring it back to the table. So here we are at the magnetic downforce measuring bench. The BMW is reading about 115, 16, so it's pretty close. It's 118 measured as recorded, so we're in the ballpark. Nothing that I'm too worried about. So that's how this one is. Let's pick up the Ford number 72. This one has the standard magnets in. And this is coming in at about 140 grams of downforce. 140, 142. And then we'll take the one Ford with a single magnet in, and this is how I prefer to run them, because I think it's more representative. And with the rear magnet removed and just the front forward magnet of the motor, this one has 43 grams of magnetic downforce. So that big bar on these NASCARs, I guess with the spacing from the track, is giving 100 grams of downforce down by the motor. Alright, so there we have it. These have got pretty strong magnets in when they're both in, but yes, with the single it's substantially less. Alright, let's go put some laps in, and then we'll get back to the track. Okay, here we are with some quick laps with the number 72 car with the stock magnets. Let's see if I can keep it on the track. These are quite high narrow cars, so they give you the feeling that it's going to roll over rather than slide out when you're driving it with the full magnets. Oh, there we go. And this one, it slid out. Let me go put that back on real quick. But it is a nice smooth car to drive. Alright, that's the 72, and I'll go switch to the 48 with the front magnet only. Okay, now it is the number 48's turn. This only has the single magnet in. It's definitely a lot trickier to drive. I've had to turn the speed down to keep the car on the track. And it's definitely a lot more tail happy. I think there's room for improvement in the tyre truing on these. I did it with a bit of rough paper, and yeah, it's definitely, on my end, the tyres aren't as good or as predictable, so I think I could do a better job there. But it's definitely a more challenging drive to drive well than the BMW M4. It is narrower, and without the magnet, it's a lot more tail happy. There we go. Okay, so here we are back at the table. What did we think? Brilliant looking cars. I love the metallic paintwork and the crisp printing on these things. They are brilliant. I am glad that they are trickier to drive and that they do offer a different driving experience to the current GT cars, the current BMW. They're narrower, they're taller, they swing out a little bit easier, they're a little bit harder to control, and you've got to be a bit more refined. But yeah, that's why I have all of these different cars. I don't want 20 cars or something like that, all driving the same. I want different driving experiences, and these offer that. And they look fantastic. What isn't to like about these? The brilliant looking cars, they're well made, they're well finished, and a different driving experience. I also like that these ones, these particular Fords anyway, they don't have the rear wing. So if you do run them with the magnets, or you do crash, or you do roll over, you know, you don't have that fragile rear wing to break off. So that's quite nice. So there we go. The Ford Torino Talladega. I give this car a great thumbs up. Very pretty, and something different to add to your collection. So definitely well worth it. So you guys have a great one. I'm happy that you're joining me in these. So yeah, have a good day, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.